ain't working. Good morning. I look all Christmassy this morning, but I just decided to wear my flannel shirt. But y'all, do you know? I think it's Friday. Friday, it is supposed to be 75 degrees. So this week, we're having beautiful weather every single day. It is going to be in the 70s every day in Alabama. Our weather is so crazy. Like, a lot of people go, I didn't know it got cold in Alabama. I'm like, oh, yeah, it'll be like freezing temperatures and then it's 70 degrees. It's like, our weather's not consistent. It's not like, how like in the north it's like snow every single day. Well, in Alabama, it goes back and forth. And I'm thinking, okay, it's in the 70s this week. What do I need to do? And of course, I'm like, I need to clean. That's what I need to do. So today I've got to clean out the duck pond and I've got to clean out a couple of chicken coops. But Larry and I have been under the weather. It started with me on Wednesday, and I'm just going to make this quick, but I went to the doctor. Shane made me go to the little, American Family Care, and they diagnosed me with strep throat. And I was like, strep throat? I ain't got no strep throat. And so I got home and I was sick at my stomach. And she said, Judy, strep throat, causes you to be sick at your stomach. And then a day later, or a day and a half, I don't know, 2 days later, I already had an appointment with my doctor about my hormones. So I went in there and I was sick as a dog, like not vomiting, but like I felt like I was going to just vomit any second. And so I got into the doctor's office. I was like, I don't even want to talk about my hormones. I'm sick. And the doctor diagnosed me with strep throat and I am sick. So she swabbed my nose and sent it off. And they found out that I had a bacteria staph infection. So she put me on antibiotics, but they took a bunch of blood work. And when I was getting my blood taken, I was already sick. I hadn't ate and I started to pass out. It was not good. But I have been so nauseated and having migraine headaches. And she told me that I wasn't contagious unless I was running a fever. Well, I did not run one fever the whole entire time. And tell me why Larry has it. Larry has it now. Larry is sick. Larry is nauseated, migraines, stopped up. So we obviously have some type of virus that, is contagious. I am better, but let's just put it like this in a friendly note. Judy had to go get Larry's diapers, and Judy had to wear Larry's diapers yesterday because Shane was not here, and I did not think that I could do the animals and be okay. So I just stuck on a diaper and wore the diaper all day. So that's what I'm experiencing right now. So long story short, if I have to make a run, I'll be back in a minute. All right. Since I'm cleaning all day, I'm doing like nothing. I'm just going to stick my hair back in a wet. So, and I do have to film today because I'm not up to date on my videos. So when you see me looking like this in my next YouTube video, y'all don't be calling me Cynthia. What was the other lady? There's a lady, if you're on YouTube, I did a reel and I can't remember. it was when Diane first died and I was sideways and I did this reel and this lady told me basically that my hair was awful. And I think her name was Jan. So now I don't just have Cynthia hair, but I have Cynthia Jan hair because she began to tell me how that my nasty hair basically took away from my looks. I'm like, check. I have a farm. What are you? Anyway, it made me laugh. Used to back in the day, I used to get my feelings hurt a lot when I was a creator. When people would tell me how ugly I am or whatever, I used to get my feelings hurt so bad. I am over that now. It makes me laugh when people like just rip me a new one and tell me how ridiculous I am. It makes me laugh. All right. Let's see. How do I begin? I woke up this morning and when I go through situations that I feel like would be a great topic for the lives, I put them in my little notebook in my phone. I'm like, okay, this happened, talk about this. And this morning I looked in my notebook and there was this situation and I was like, okay, I'm going to talk about this. And then I went to my checking account and I saw like, I'll just tell you, I saw Facebook took $130 out of my checkbook for being verified. And then I saw StreamYard took $88 out of my account. And I was like, why do I do this? Why am I a creator? Like, I mean, like, and so then it prompted me to get out my calculator. And I was like, I'm so backwards. I mean, like, I'm so backwards. So then I sat there and was like, putting, how much okay, first of all, I have not made a dime from a tour, a field trip, anything since like September. So there's no money coming into my farm, but that's not unusual. That happens during the winter. Okay, so that's not like this year's different from last year. No, it happens every year. I make zero money between usually September and February. It starts back up in March. But during those times where you make zero money, it's like you get in left field. And if you have a job or a business that goes through uh peak season and all, you get me. You know how like when it's like real low, I know my family is in the mattress business. And believe it or not, the mattress business is just like that. It goes through this period during election. It no one goes and buys mattresses. So my family is like struggling for months. You know what I'm talking about. So it's like, how do you survive when you're making absolutely no money? And then you go to your checking account and you're like, minus $130 for being verified, minus $88 for StreamYard. And I'm like, and then I have yet to get paid for any of my lives on Facebook. And I'm like, why? What? This is a moment where I would normally message Diane and go, Diane, would you please remind me why I do this? Will you please remind me why do you want me to continue to do social media? Because I am so upside down. And then I got this beautiful card in the mail from Wanda Miley. And she sent me this card. And I did not recognize Wanda Miley's name because I don't see her comment, because I read all the comments. And I was like, I've never seen her comment. Who is Wanda Miley? And I began to read this letter about how sorry she was that I had lost my special friend. And she said, let's see where it's at. I look forward to your videos every day. It's part of my routine. I always have to check in to see what is going on. If I lived closer, I would come by and say hello. But I was like, wait a minute. This lady, Judy Sneed's Farmhouse is part of her routine? Seriously? And so it was almost as if it was a reminder that this is not about $1. This is about friendship. And as a matter of fact, I can't remember who said it. I think it was Jane. Hang on. About we're a family here. I don't know where it's at. Y'all said we're a family. And it's like this card reminded me what Diane always told me, and is to keep going. Keep going. Because even though, we have to, did y'all take your Celtic salt? Even though obviously we have to have money to live, right? Money is important. We have to pay the bills. The animals have to eat. But at the end of the day, how do I put this? I feel like there's a purpose. And even though I see $130 to be verified, $88 for StreamYard, sometimes I'm like, should I just give up Facebook and just do YouTube? And the answer is no. At the end of the day, God has put me in front of people all over the world to spread his goodness. And sometimes I don't realize how many people follow me. And I had posted a video. I posted on Facebook, and I did a video last year or year and a half ago on a little boy named Caleb. Caleb has no legs. Well, I'm sorry. He was like 3 years old, and he was amputated like from his knee down on both legs. And he came to meet Quacky Jackie, my one-legged duck. And he took his legs off to show Quacky Jackie that he didn't have legs either. And I did a YouTube video about that. And Caleb is fixing to have to experience 2 more surgeries to have his legs amputated even more. And I posted his story on Facebook and asked for Facebook to please pray for him. And the story was he's going back to this specific hospital to have surgery. The Shriners Hospital. I can't remember where it's at. And so when I posted it, this lady said, I am a nurse at the Shriners Hospital, and I will be taking care of Caleb. And I was like, what are the chances of little peon Sneed's farmhouse in Coleman, Alabama, a follower following me is Caleb's nurse at the Shriner Hospital? And it reminded me that my page is important. You know what I'm saying? Even though right now I don't understand. I don't understand like why I do what I do, and it's not about $1, but I do have to pay for my farm. And without money, Caleb would have never come to my farm because Quacky Jackie wouldn't be here. So I know God has a purpose for my farm and for me. And so that sweet letter and that nurse from the Shriners Hospital, it was almost like Diane wasn't here to tell me to keep going, but it's almost like Diane sent those two people to tell me to keep going. Because this morning I was like, wow. And I even said this to Chris this morning. I'm like, Chris, should I give up social media and concentrate on marketing my farm, marketing field trips? Because not one school has called me for a spring field trip. So maybe I should quit focusing on filming and get my butt in gear and go visit these schools and go meet them and tell them who I am. But I'm like, I don't think that's really what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't feel it in my heart. I feel in my heart, my priority is with you. You and the group home. And I can't call them the group home, the center. We no longer call them the group home. We call them the center. So the center, kids with disabilities, and you are my priority. So if you don't feel important, you are. You're very important to me. So just know that. Okay. Switching the subject. So over the past week and a half, it started in the nursing home with Larry, and he thinks that he has a virus on his phone, and his phone's going to shut down in 3 days. And no matter how many times I tell him, don't click nothing, ignore it, he can't. And he went into this total panic mode a couple of days ago. And he was like, Judy, get this virus off my phone. Just take my phone. Get it off because my whole phone is shutting down in 3 days. I took his phone. And I was like, I don't even know what he's talking about. So I took his phone and I began to go through it. And I went to his Facebook page because I know he's on Facebook all the time. And I was like, oh no. He's out there on Marketplace asking people for prices on tractors and campers. And he must have taken, I don't know, 400 screenshots of himself. And he's got all these people on Messenger messaging him. And all these businesses going, sir, how can I help you? Apparently Larry's pushing some button that's making all these companies. And one of the companies is Coleman Daily, which I'm friends with them. And it prompted Coleman Daily to say, how can I help you? And I'm like, what is Larry pushing that is prompting all these businesses to send him a message on Messenger asking how he can? I realized it was a disaster. I was like, this ain't good. This ain't good. He thinks there's a virus on his phone. He's going to click something. And he had my YouTube on his phone. And so I was like, if he gets hacked, my YouTube is out there. So I had to delete the app on YouTube. I deleted the app on Facebook. So Larry is no longer on Facebook. Because I feel like it is it's dangerous for him, because you can't convince him that his phone ain't shutting down in 3 days. And, a lot of times, if you're a person like me that, didn't grow up with social media, and your kids are like, Mom, Dad, do not click any link. Do not click any link. It's hard for a person who doesn't have social media all the time to understand that some crazy person would want to hack them. I mean, what are they hacking Larry for? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So it's just not good. And I just realized, for Larry's safety, that I needed to take that away. And what's odd is this is the second day that Larry hasn't asked for his phone back. And I'm like, why? This is a man that is addicted to his phone. He's on his phone or doing word search, one of the two. This is the man that puts his cell phone under his pillow, and at 2:00 every single morning, he's on his phone. And he has not asked for his phone back. And I'm like, why hasn't he asked for his phone back? Like, and I'm just seeing a lot of decline and a lot of things. I'm not going to go into it because I don't want to embarrass him, but there's a lot of things that he's not aware of that's happening with him. A lot that, like, how do I put it? Just doesn't know. He's not aware of his surroundings. He's not. I had to go to get our medicine from being sick, and I came home, and there was stuff all in the bed. Let's just put it like that. And he had no idea. And I was like, okay, something ain't firing. Something. How do you not know that you're laying in that? And so I just realized that I think I need to take Facebook away from him. So if you're one of the followers that like, talk, hey, Mr. Larry, or he's not on Facebook anymore. So, and many of you send him cards in the mail, and I'll just tell you that he feels so loved by y'all. And Facebook, was a way for him to see that y'all ask about him and care about him. And I feel bad that he no longer has it, but I just, he's pushing buttons that he shouldn't. He's clicking things, and it's just unfortunately not good. All right. I want to talk about the situation that I have to say this real quick. With him not having a phone, my life is changing again because that means I'm going to have to be checking on him more regularly. So, you know how in the beginning of this conversation, I told you schools are not calling and field trips are not calling and tours are not happening. It's almost as if I don't know what's happening, but I feel like that schools, because it's very odd the schools are not calling for field trips. And I feel like it's almost like God's putting his arms around me, going, you have a dad to take care of. Your dad's declining mentally, and you can't be out there doing field trips when you got this man on hospice in the bed. And I told y'all a caregiver is $28.60 an hour. And so maybe schools are not calling because that's not what's supposed to be happening right now. My concentration is supposed to be on Larry. But what happens is I get a lot of joy out of doing what I do, doing field trips and stuff like that. But if it wasn't for y'all and me doing social media, I think I would be very lonely because Shane's not here a lot. I'm by myself a lot. And I think that if I did not have y'all, I would be very lonely. And if you on the other side of this, I've got a computer, but you sitting at home, would you be lonely if you didn't have social media? Maybe you don't have family, or maybe your husband travels or your wife travels, or maybe you're single, or maybe you have a spouse that's declining and you feel all alone and it's depressing and you get sideways and your only outlet is social media. Boy, don't we have a lot in common. You know, we have a lot in common. And I think that social media, y'all, I've been watching, this is off the subject. I've been watching some makeup tutorials and I see them do this little contouring stuff. Now, I don't know if this is going to work. I'm going to try it. I put some right here. But if social media brings you a lot of joy and you follow creators that make you laugh, make you think, make you get out of your comfort zone, that make you dance, you get me. You get me how social media, your family's here. And a lot of times, you follow multiple creators because sometimes, when I go to, why is Shane Sneak calling me? Hello? Why are you calling me at 7:30?
like shot through the woods. So they sit there and they sit there and they sit there and they sit. They've been sitting there. So finally, I just walked out and I said, "Hey," I said, "What y'all got going on this morning?" He said, "We fixing to fix potholes." And I said, "You think you could park somewhere other than right here by the shooting house?" And I said, "There's people in here hunting." "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, we can pull down." He said, "I didn't mean to disturb you." I said, "No, there ain't no problem." I said, "But I mean, you park right here on top of the shooting house." And I said, "There's people in here hunting." "Man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry." I said, "Sitting here with the trucks running and carrying on." I said, "I mean, ain't no problem." I said, "It is what it is." I said, "But the shooting house is right there. I mean, you see it."
Shane.
Yeah. I said, "Pull down there to the dirt road and park." He said, "Yeah, I can do that. I can do that."
On Mondays and Wednesdays, I go live at 7. So I'm actually live right now. But when you called, it scared me, so I knew I needed to answer.
Yeah. So no, I just pissed off this morning.
You sounded.
Yeah, they want to sit right here by the damn shooting house, carry on, talk, smoke cigarettes, big bang.
I'll call you when I get done.
That's fine. I'm gonna go back to it here in a little bit.
Okay. Okay. All right. Bye. He's mad because he was in the shooting stand and the road department decided to come fill in potholes and scared off 2 of his bucks and 3 of his does. And he had to get out of the tree stand to tell these road people to get out of the road that he's messing up his hunting. And he needed to call me to tell me. You see what my life's like? Oh my gosh. I don't know. Hunting makes me laugh. I don't understand it. Okay. So 2 or 3 years ago, I started having major stomach issues. It started when I lived in Stapleton and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I mean, I had to swallow a camera, I had to have an endoscopy. I can't remember. I had a colonoscopy. I had all this test work and they could not find anything wrong with me. And I couldn't eat. And I was so skinny. It's the skinniest I've ever been in my I look like an Ethiopian because I couldn't eat. Well, when we moved to Coleman, I said, I need to go get a second opinion. I am sick. To make a long story short, they did a HIDA scan. My gallbladder wasn't functioning. The whole time I'm sick, they couldn't, because they did an ultrasound to see if I had gallstones. Well, I didn't have gallstones. Well, I don't know why they didn't do a HIDA scan in Stapleton, but basically, I ended up having to have surgery to have my gallbladder taken out. Well, if you're a man and you're watching me, Miles, don't take this personally. Chris, don't take this personally. But not all men are good caregivers, okay? So I had the gallbladder taken out. I come home and my caregiver is Shane Sneed. Shane Sneed is not sitting in the house ever. If he's sitting in the house, he's sick as a dog, okay? He has to be doing something, okay? So the caregiving situation went a little something like this. It went every blue moon he came in the house to see if I was, you all right? You all right? And I'd be like, I'm laying in the bed pissed off. I'm like, I can't even freaking move. I just had my guts ripped open and he ain't even in the house. And I can remember he came into the house one day. Y'all are going to die on this one. He came in the house and he was like, You need anything? Well, dude, it's 2:00 and I haven't ate lunch. So, yes, I need something to eat. And he was like, what do you want? And I'm like, I don't know. Because when have your gallbladder removed, you can't eat certain things. And I said, just fix me a grilled cheese and some chicken noodle soup. That son of a gun. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? That son of a gun made me a grilled cheese with the end pieces. And I was like, out of that whole loaf of bread, you had to make me a grilled cheese with the daggum end piece. Like what is wrong with you? The end piece? And of course, then he's like, you're not grateful that I made you a grilled cheese. I'm just going outside. I'm like, dude, no one makes a grilled cheese with the end piece. So he was like, I said, you're only coming in here every now and then to check on me. And in the moment, I can't process things, right? I've had surgery. I'm under anesthesia. It's like, I'm real needy, right? I want to be taken care of. Okay. So I'm sitting here, thinking now that it's over with and it's 3 years later or whatever. I'm like, what was I needing in that moment? I can assure you it's not the end piece to my grilled cheese. Okay. I can assure you that. But I'm like, what was I needing from him? And I think what I was needing is for him to, I don't know if I needed him to feel sorry for me because I just had surgery. Maybe he'll be a little softy, can I get you anything? Like, let me go get you a Sprite. No, Judy, you need to eat something. I don't know. I was needing a little bit more than what I was getting. Okay, let's just put it that way. And I said to him, let me fast forward. The ice storm. Okay. The ice storm that just recently happened, last week or the week before? It's the morning of. Okay. I'm suiting up to go do animals. And that son of a gun is not suiting up to do animals. And I'm sitting here in my head going, I know he ain't about to make me do this by myself. And instead of me going, are you going to help me? I just sat there and was like, I'm going to see what he does. I'm going to see what that son of a gun does. I go out there in the freezing cold, below temperature, and I end up doing all the farm chores in freezing weather, no water, by myself. And when I tell you I was mad as a wet mother hen, I was mad as a wet mother hen. Y'all know how I don't like to say bad words. I texted him and told him he was shitty. I was very mad at him. Okay, fast forward. This past week, I was sick. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. No, I don't know. It was Wednesday or Thursday. I'm sick. I'm nauseated. And I'm going somewhere with this. So don't judge me. Okay, just hear my whole story. If you leave right now, you're going to go, man, she's just sitting here bashing her husband on social media. No, you got to hear the whole story. So it's raining outside, pouring down raining. I'm nauseated. at the end of the day, I still have to do animals, right? Sick, not sick, throw in a diaper and go, right? You got to still do animals. And so I'm suiting up. Once again, I'm like, I ain't saying a word. I'm going to see what he does. I'm out there in the pouring down rain, and Jack, the freaking jackleg, would not go to bed. I'm out there behind Jack trying to get him in the bed, pouring down rain and sick as a dog. Shane ain't helping me, and I am madder than a wet mother hen. Okay? I am mad at, and he got, "You are shitty," again, text message. Okay? Okay? I was so mad. And, at this point, I'm like, I have no support around here. I mean, he don't help me. He could care less that I'm sick. When I have surgery, he freaking brings me an end piece for my grilled cheese. He is straight up shitty. Okay? And so he doesn't see my text message that I told him he was, crappy. He sends me a text message, and it's a picture of this thing that he's welding. No, it wasn't welding. He was making a double fan stand where two fans, like a fan here, and he was making a stand on rollers so that he could roll it around the summer in his shop to stay cool. He's sending me a picture of what he's in his shop making. I'm out there nauseated in the pouring down rain trying to get Jackleg in the coop. And I'm like, what is wrong with this man? Why can't he see what I need? He knows I'm sick. He obviously knows it's pouring down raining. Why is he sending me pictures while he's in the dry place building something? So what do? I phone a friend and I'm like, let me tell you what my blank husband just did to me. And I am just like ready to rip him a new one. And I sit here and I'm like, why is he like this? Why is he like, why can't he see what I need? So when I walked into his shop, I'm drenched. I mean, I am soaking wet, wringing wet. I walk into his shop. He was like, look what I made. I'm like, and I'm sitting there dripping wet. He's like, look what I made, Judy. It's on rollers. Isn't this cool? And I'm like, there's something wrong with you. There's straight up something wrong with you. You're straight up weirdo. And he was like, what? I'm like, look at me and look at you. Why can't you see what I need? And he was like, all you had to do was tell me you needed help. All you had, my phone number, Judy. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call me and tell me you need help. God gives you a brain. You know that every single night at 4:00, I'm going to feed animals. You know, if it's an ice storm or a blizzard or pouring down rain, at the end of the day, every morning and every night, I have a routine that I have been doing for the past 6 years. I don't miss a day. And you don't know that I need help. Instead, your jackleg self says, Well, it ain't my fault. You should have picked up the phone and called me. Told me you needed help. Okay. There's something wrong with my husband. So now let's fast forward to Larry. Okay. Larry sits and waits for me to bring in his drink. He is not texting me going, hey, do you mind bringing me a water? Or, hey, Judy, I'm not feeling good. Could you bring me a Tylenol? Larry is not picking up the phone and texting me going, I need help. I'm not feeling well. He waits for me to walk into the room and say, do you need anything? He waits for me to bring him his drinks. He waits for me to do anything. He is not initiating going, hey, Judy, I need help. It's to the point where if he has an accident, he is not picking up the phone. Hang on. He is not picking up the phone and saying, Judy, I've had an accident. I need help. Mm-mm. He ain't doing it. He is not doing it. I have to automatically know in my head, Larry's had an accident. I need to go help him. Well, I get mad about it. I get so mad. I'm like, why? Why do I have to remember to bring you water? Why can't you just say, hey, do you mind bringing me a snack? Hey, do you mind? I don't know. I've had an accident. I'm going to need some help. Why? Why do I have to automatically know all this crap? I have so much on me that I do not have time to make sure everything is perfect with you. Why do you do that? So when I was sitting there, you know how I tell y'all to break things down? And I was sitting there going, why is my husband a jackleg? Why do I have to literally call him on the phone and go, hey, dude, you mind helping tonight? It's pouring down raining. Why do I have to do that? And when I was breaking things down, I find myself always going back to Larry as like understanding Shane, understanding why he does the things he does, because I find myself just like him when it comes to Larry. I want Larry to initiate. I want him to tell me when he needs something to drink. I want him to tell me when he needs my help. He ain't doing it. Me, when I'm at the farm, I want Shane to know that I need help. I want Shane to automatically come out there and meet my needs. I want him to understand when I'm laying in the bed that I need a grilled cheese that is not the end piece. I want him to understand that that's stupid. Okay. You don't bring someone a grilled cheese with the freaking end piece. I want him to understand that. I want Larry to understand that he needs to pick up his phone, call me or text me that he needs something. So maybe Shane and I are just alike. Maybe. And I sat down and I was like, okay, you've heard the terminology work smarter, not harder. And I first said to myself, why do I have these expectations of Shane? What am I needing that I'm not getting? Because I'm throwing all these expectations on him and my needs are not getting met. If I depended on Shane for my happiness, I'm miserable. I'm in trouble. If I depend on Shane, oh, Valentine's Day's coming up. He's going to get me. He's going to put a sweet text out there on Facebook that he loves me with all his heart. He's going to bring home roses and chocolate. Oh, he's going to buy me a diamond necklace. If I set expectations of Shane, I am going to sit here and tell you that my marriage sucks. Just here to tell you right now. And if you think about it, when you set expectations in your head of what you need from someone, you're setting yourself up for failure. Your joy and your happiness does not come from your spouse. It doesn't. If you depend on your spouse to meet, look, I just need you to be all warm and fuzzy inside for just like 30 minutes. Like tell me how great I am. Tell me, I don't know, how you can't live without me. Like, just what is that all about? What is the need that you have inside you all about? Why are you all needing that mushy? Why are you like, what is it? What is it that you need? When you stop yourself in the middle of the tracks and realize that you're expecting these expectations of people, they can't meet your expectations. They cannot meet your needs. So how do you fix it? How do you fix it? A lot of times we're like me and Larry, and we're like, I just want them to know I need something to drink. I just want them to know that I need them to come help me. I just want them, like I want them to automatically, I don't want to have to ask. I don't want to have to ask Judy to come clean me up. I don't want to have to ask Judy for a water. She might be busy. I don't want to ask Shane to come help me in the farm. It's an ice storm outside. Lately, I've been sick. And have you ever, like, when it comes to if you have adult children and you're like, I've been sick as a dog. Larry's sick as a dog. And my kids have not called me one time to go, Mom, are you feeling okay? Mom, do you need anything? And you're setting these expectations. They don't even care. They don't even call me. They don't even check on me. They don't even like me over here taking care of Larry. What do you like? Sometimes you're like, I just want him to call and go, hey, Mom, I know it's hard. I know you're over there like during hunting season by yourself, taking care of Larry and the farm. Do you need anything? And sometimes we set our expectations of what we want people to be like. And we're like, and then we start lying to ourselves and we're like, they don't care two craps about me. They don't call me. They don't check on me. They don't care about me. I could fall over dead and they wouldn't know for weeks. You know what I'm saying? Because you start talking in your brain when you have the expectations of what you want someone to do, you start talking in your brain this nonsense. My brother, I talk to my older brother a lot. Well, this past week, that son of a gun hadn't hadn't called, hadn't answered my text. Like I've texted him about Larry. He hadn't messaged me not one time. I'm like, is he falling off the face of the earth? I finally had to message his wife and go, is he alive? What the heck? And then when you realize, okay, he's alive, and you're like, he could care less. And I'm over here taking care of Larry and I'm having to deal with sickness. He could care two craps because you start making up these stories in your head. That's not true. He's been in Las Vegas. He's been at work. He's got 6 kids. He's busy. He don't have time. But when you set expectations that you want people to be a certain way, you're setting yourself up for failure. And then you sit here and talk this nonsense in your head. Does my brother not care? Does my kids not care? Really, Judy? Judy, really? Really? But you have to stop yourself in the process when your brain goes to la la land and you start telling yourself people don't care. Shane don't care. If he cared, he'd be out here helping me. Instead, he's in there making some stupid fan thing for the summer. How do we stay okay? In the midst of a storm in our own brains, how do we stay okay? I think for myself, I tell you guys that in the midst of it, I'm a psychomaniac. I'm having a nervous breakdown, okay? Total nervous breakdown. And if I was to call someone when I'm in the middle of the nervous breakdown, I look like some psychomaniac, okay? It's not good. Like I'm not in a good place at all. But within a few minutes after I have the nervous breakdown, I'm like, what is wrong with you, Judy? What the crap? What the crap is wrong with you, Judy? And I realize that I have the expectations. I've got my feelings hurt that the kids hadn't called me and asked me if I'm okay. I got my feelings hurt that my brother is not responding to me the way I want him to. I got my feelings hurt that my jackleg's husband is not seeing what I need. I'm mad at Larry because he won't initiate, I have to just know in my head that he needs something. I'm frustrated. So how do I fix this? What do I need to do to take care of myself? And I set myself down. I was like, okay, let's start with Larry. What do I need to make my life easier? Because I feel like a robot when it comes to Larry. I just have to automatically know everything. So I was like, what do I need to make my life easier? And I was like, okay, when it comes to like a drink, what do I need to do to make my life easier so I'm not taking waters and Sprites in there every, 2 hours? I'll buy him a refrigerator. I'll buy a mini refrigerator to put in his room. And I'll stock it once a week. And then I never have to worry about him being without a drink. I'm brilliant. So I got on Walmart.com, ordered him a refrigerator, and I stocked it. And never again do I have to worry about Larry not telling me he needs something to drink. He's got drinks. Okay. Snacks. What can I do to make his life easier? Okay. I'll go buy a basket. I'll put it on the top of his refrigerator and I'll put snacks in there. So on the top of Larry's refrigerator, he has this cute little basket. It has chips. It has cheese and crackers. It has goldfish. It has all kinds of snacks in it that he likes. And I keep it full all the time. So I don't have to get mad at Larry for not initiating saying, can I have a snack? Larry feels independent now because Larry no longer has to sit there thirsty or sit there without a snack. So I fixed that problem. He has a camera in his room. If I'm at the farm, I can check. Oh, he's had an accident. I can see it. He needs me. So I eliminated that expectation of Larry, dude, pick up the phone and tell me you need something to drink. I fixed it all. When it comes to Shane, I guarantee you that Shane thinks just like me. I bet he goes, how can I make Judy's life easier? What do I do to make Judy's life easier? Okay, I'm going to go into the barn and I'm going to build her a watering system. So she doesn't have to drag the hose across the nasty, poopy farm and fill up the waters. All she has to do is turn on the nozzle and fill it up. I'll buy Judy a retractable hose to make her life easier. So, Shane is thinking just like me. He's sitting down, breaking down what he can do to make my life easier. When it comes to Sneed's Farmhouse, it is me pretty much. I run the whole show. Okay. Shane works all the time. So Shane sits and thinks, how can I make Judy's life easier? When it comes to Shane helping me, he can't win. He can't win. He cannot win when it comes to Sneed's Farmhouse. Because no matter what he does, he don't know what he's doing. If he got out there, when he goes out there and does animals, he makes me so mad. He does. Because when he goes, like, for example, I'm like, he would never make it on social media. Social media would blow him up. Because when he goes in there to put animals to bed, okay, he ain't cleaning out the waters. He just going to put, if there's dirty water in the water trough, he's just putting more water on top of it. Drives me crazy. Judy, they're pigs. I'm like, I don't give two if they're pigs. They're getting clean water. Ask Lester. I do the water challenge. No. And I sit there every single time and get the scrub brush and scrub out the waters. Shane ain't doing that. So when Shane does the chores, I'm still mad. Just forget it. Let me do it myself. Let me do it myself because you don't know what you're doing. My animals are not drinking dirty water, and animals are getting fresh water in the barn every single night. So I realize that I'm a dead end. It don't matter what Shane does. He can't win. When it comes to me, he can, because I am very particular about my animals. I'm very, very particular. And I have this routine that I do, and I want it done my way. And if it's not done my way, my animals are not being taken care of, and I don't like it. So Shane would rather just let her do her thing. I think in my head, when I break things down and I go to La La Land and I start saying people don't care about me, my kids don't care, they don't care, my brother he could care two craps about me. When I go into La La Land, I think in my head, I think I know what the deal is. I am a very strong person. I am. Y'all see it. I'm strong. And so I think in my head, Shane Shane ain't worried about me. I got it. Judy figures it out. I am a survivor. I will not fail. You know, I told you guys I was a cheerleader my whole life. My mom taught me to be number 1. Okay? When I competed, I was number 1, and I was gonna do everything it took to be number 1. When I was a Girl Scout, I was winning the who sold the most Girl Scout cookies. I am a survivor. I will figure it out. It may take me a minute, but I will figure out how to do what needs to be done. Shane can lead this farm because he knows he has a strong wife. Shane ain't worried about me. And you know what? He really don't need to worry about me because he's right. I got it. He can leave this house comfortably and know I'm going to run this whole household, Larry, farm, animals, dogs. Everything is going to be great when he comes home, and everything's going to be in place. He knows that. Now, my kids, they've seen me work 2 jobs my entire life. They have seen me go through a horrible divorce and come out a winner. They've seen me overcome all kinds of things. I am a very strong person. My kids know that if I am sick, someone's going to call me. They know I'm a strong mama. My brother, he knows I have mental breakdowns a lot. And I'm sure he's like, oh, Lord, Judy's in a mental breakdown. I'll call her in a minute. You know, like my brother knows me very well, but he knows I'm strong. And I think sometimes when you're a strong person, you get shortchanged on those emotional needs that you need. Like, you okay? Because you're always okay. Mom's always okay. Judy's always okay. She's on social media. She's posting. She's posting pictures. Obviously, she's okay. You know? So, like, I think sometimes when you're strong, but also if you're that real needy person, you need people to do things for you all the time. And you're like, Debbie Downer and you're always depressed, you consume people and they're like, oh God, if I call mom, she's Debbie Downer. She's going to tell me every element she has sick. She's a hypochondriac. So I'm going to have to force myself to call her for 15 minutes and listen to all the things that are wrong with her. You know that person? What's wrong with you? We have to go, what is wrong with us? What do we need? What is missing? Because if I sit here and expect Shane, I don't know, to go with me to put animals to bed in the pouring down rain. I'm setting myself up for failure. If I expect him to go fix the grilled cheese with 2 normal pieces of bread during my surgery. I'm setting myself. God forbid I get sick. And I think all the time dealing with Larry, I am preparing myself for a nursing home because I know it sucks. I've seen it. It sucks. And I'm like, Judy, you better put tools in your pocket so when that time comes, you ain't in left field and you ain't mad at the world and you don't hate your life. You better start while you're young. You better put the tools in your pocket so when your health starts declining, you ain't jacked up. Because it's easy to get jacked up when things start getting taken from you. When you can't do what you used to do and you no longer can drive and you can't live by yourself anymore. When those things, when your independence starts getting taken away from you, you jacked up. I've watched it with my mother. I've watched it with Larry. I've watched it with my grandmother. And you get mentally jacked up. My age group, our appearance starts declining. We start getting wrinkles. We start getting gray hair. We start getting saggy boobs. We start getting a saggy butt. We start getting cellulite. We start having to wear culottes. We can't no longer wear shorts because we have cottage cheese on the side of our legs. It is depressing. I can't lose weight. I'm in the middle of menopause. My waist is this thick. We start declining as we get older. And if you don't put the tools in your pockets, you're going to be jacked up. And you're going to be that person that when people call you, you tell them, just depressed. Life sucks. Nothing's good's happening in my life. I'm fat. I'm ugly. I got wrinkles. My kids hate me. My kids never call me. I'm just jacked up. Another thing, as we get older, our spouse passes away or our friends pass away. Talking about Debbie Downer, it's depressing. How do you go on with life when you've lost your best friend? If you don't put tools in your pocket, you're going to live a miserable life. And you've got to learn what tools to put in your pocket so when you're faced with these obstacles, you know how to deal with life. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself sitting in a nursing home miserable. You're going to find yourself sitting at home with no spouse miserable. You're going to find yourself miserable. So how do you get and live your life to the fullest? I feel like in my head, it's knowing your purpose in life. I know for me personally, when I found what God put me on this earth for, it's kept me balanced. It's kept me so that when I go through these things with Larry or go through things with my kids or go through things with Shane, I can get through it. It's hard. It's hard during hunting season with your spouse gone. It's hard that he takes vacation. He don't take vacation to take us on a trip. He takes vacation to leave to go hunting. But I just told Chris this. If Shane took off a week of work and went, Judy, I'm taking you to the mountains. In my brain, I'm like, I have animals. So even if Shane wanted to take a week off to take me to the mountains, I have Larry and I have a farm. And I feel like I'm in the mountains every day on my farm. It brings me joy and it brings me happiness. And it keeps me content and it keeps me balanced. So when I found my purpose of why I'm on this earth, it keeps me regulated. And if you don't know your purpose, because a lot of times you feel like you don't have a purpose, like especially if you've lost a spouse or sitting in a nursing home, you're like, my life's over. I worked all my life to go to a nursing home, to give my kids everything, to lose everything. You feel like there's no purpose. Believe it or not, we all have a purpose. We're all alive for a reason. And when you're Debbie Downer, you can't put on your glasses to see the big picture because it's fogged with Debbie Downer. My husband doesn't care. He doesn't come out here in the rain and help me put up animals. He could care two craps about me. That's not true. That's not true. He married a strong wife. He thought I had it. I did have it. I did. I did it. He's right. But learning your purpose can be sometimes difficult because it took me 50 years to find my purpose in life. And wherever you are, I think about it like this. You know how God gives us a talent? We all have these beautiful talents, whether it's arts or, you know, maybe you can sing, maybe you can, paint or draw, or, maybe you're good at putting things together, or maybe you're good at being a motivator, speaking. Maybe you're good at being a friend or being trustworthy. I don't know, whatever strengths you have. I suggest getting a notebook and writing down your strengths. I'm good at this. I'm good at this. Not what you're bad at. What are you good at? What talent did God give you that you're good at? And that's the step in finding your purpose, because God gives you those talents for a reason. Are you using those talents to His good? And it's a start. And sometimes we can't think outside the box because we have on blinders. So how can you use the talents that He gave you to His good? Never in a million years would I ever think that God would give me a farm to do what I'm doing. If I would have been that person listening to social media person said, okay, write down what you're good at, it would not, like, I wouldn't say I'm good at taking care of chickens. I wouldn't say I would be the best I could be if I lived in the country. I would have never said that. I would have said, I'm good at teaching aerobics. I'm good at sales. I've got a good personality. I would have said things like that. I would have never said what I am. But when I began to start fixing myself and I began counseling, and I said, yeah, I am jacked up. I can't keep a marriage. I'm miserable. I hate my job. I hate my life. I hate everything about myself. And when I began to start fixing what I hated about myself, it's almost like I put on these glasses where I was like, what? Because now I'm able to process things that I've never been able to process. If my brother would have gone a week without texting me, let's just say when I've texted him like 6 years ago, I probably would have blocked him. If my kids wouldn't have texted me because I was sick, I would probably get on the phone and go, "You care two craps about your mom." I probably would have ripped him a new one. Now, I did tell Shane he was shitty, but I did go back and I just snotted on myself. I did go back and apologize. But I'm different today because I can see. And I can see because I fixed the things that I needed to fix about me. That doesn't mean that I'm perfect. That doesn't mean I don't struggle. It's a daily walk. But the second I started seeing my purpose in life and why I do the things that I do, I'm able to be happy. I'm able to be fulfilled. I'm able to be, I can stand by myself and be happy. It doesn't mean that I don't put expectations of Shane and Larry because we're normal. But those expectations get me in trouble and I see them very quickly. And I'm like, okay, Valentine's Day is coming up. How do I take care of myself? Because I'm a girl and I ain't getting chocolate and flowers. So what do I need to do to take care of myself? And I'm strong enough to go, let me just look around. Let me get my shoes on and let me go walk around my property. And I can walk around my property and I go to the creek and I'm like, this is drop dead gorgeous. Shane goes to work every single day, bust his butt so we can have everything that we have in this farm. Wow. My husband allows me to stay home to take care of Larry. Wow. My husband allowed Larry to move in with us less than 6 months after getting married and put up with a lot. My husband taught my son his career, welding. And when you are strong enough to walk around your properties and you begin to start seeing your blessings and you begin to have gratitude for why you have the things that you have, because I didn't do this by myself. If I did this by myself, I wouldn't be living in Coleman, Alabama in the country with a farm. That was Shane's idea, not my idea. So when you begin to have gratitude and you don't have expectations, you're going to find that your Valentine's is so special. Because where some women just get Valentine's on Valentine's Day, some women get it every day. Some women get blessings every single day. And you know what? We all do. But some of us can't see that because we have our blinders on, because we're not the best version of ourselves. And when you begin to fix yourself, you're able to go, okay, Judy, do you have expectations? What do you need to do to take care of yourself? And you find yourself happy and complete. All right, guys. I don't even know what time it is. Oh, Lord, I am so long-winded. I want to show you something real quick. This spring, last year I set a goal, and my goal was to landscape this year. I'm going to work on landscaping, which I've never done. And I sent Shane a message. I said, I bought myself some tools, and I haven't opened them. Look what I bought. They go onto a drill so that I can plant my own plants. So I can begin to plant little bushes, but I'm planning on really working hard in the farm and on my property to make it more presentable with some landscape. So you landscape people, if you know some plants that I can plant that would be really good for Alabama weather, shoot them my way. Guys, it's Monday, brand new week. You have choices. You have choices. My preaching stick is this. Don't have expectations. If you find yourself with expectations, that's what I call sitting it out. Sitting it out is being Debbie Downer. Doesn't mean you're perfect. Dancing is striving to find your purpose, striving to be the best version of yourself and being a better person. I love you guys. I will see y'all Wednesday. My video comes out tomorrow, but I don't know what it's going to be about. Love y'all. See you later. Bye.